Hello and thanks for joining us on Nationwide today. I'm Elizabeth Omori. The Nigerian High Commission in London has closed its services for 10 days to cut further spread of COVID-19 among officials working at the embassy. In a statement by the High Commission in London, some staff have tested positive for the virus, which necessitated the action in line with prevention protocols. The High Commission asks for more understanding and cooperation by those affected by the action. Meanwhile, the Nigeria Center for Disease Control has announced 750 new cases of COVID-19 in Nigeria within the last 24 hours. The breakdown of the new cases from 14 states indicates that Lagos State tops the daily statistics with 364 new cases, Akwa Ibom 141, Oyo 74, Rivers 46, Abia 38, Ogun 24, Kwara 20, Imo 19, FCT 12, Ekiti 10, Delta 9, Edo 6, Plateau 5, and Bayelsa 1. With this development, Nigeria now has 180,661 confirmed cases of COVID-19, out of which 166,560 patients were treated and discharged, while the death toll is now 2,200. Out of the 24 persons who consumed their meal cooked with a fertilizer type known as Gishirin Lali in Hausa at Zanke village of Isa local government area in Sokoto State, only 2 survived. Sokoto State Commissioner for Health, Dr. Mohammed Ali, stated this while giving updates on the tragedy that happened in the village. Shehu Mohammed Dati completes the story.
The tragic incident happened recently at Danzenke village of Isa local government area, where 22 persons from one household lost their lives after consumption of a meal mistakenly cooked with fertilizer type known as Gishiri Lalli in Hausa in place of salt. State Commissioner of Health Dr. Muhammad Ali Enname said Sokoto State government is shocked to receive the news of such tragedy, saying program aimed at sensitizing the populace on dangers of such poisonous commodities will be held.
There are 2 other ladies that are still receiving treatment in the hospital, which we believe that God willing they have a chance of survival. It's a sad event to use this opportunity to call on people to desist from mixing this such cosmetics and other material like fertilizer and other things with their foodstuff.
While on condolence visit to the relatives of the deceased and people of Danzenke village of Isa local government, Governor Aminu Waziri Tambol, represented by his deputy, prayed Allah to forgive the deceased and the relatives the fortitude to bear the loss. The governor also urged people in the area to continue to give useful information to the security agencies in the interest of bringing an end to banditry and cattle rustling in the area. In Sokoto, Shehu Muhammad Datti, NTA News.
The issue of funding affecting the smooth takeoff of federal government NDDC IFAD livelihood improvement in 3 states of the Niger Delta region has been resolved following mutual agreement reached by relevant stakeholders. Kingsley Amadari reports that this was part of the decisions reached at an interactive stakeholders meeting in Port Harcourt.
A livelihood improvement family enterprises program in the Niger Delta region is aimed at addressing youth restiveness, unemployment via job creation through agriculture, and enhanced food security. Youths under 35 years and women are the target groups within the Niger Delta region. However, since the project started in the last 2 years, beneficiaries from Rivers, Imo, and Akwa Ibom states are yet to maximize the benefits of the project following funding constraints from one of the key development partners, NDDC.
So these three states are very, very important. So I want to say, therefore, with the direction of the interim administrator, that let nobody have any doubt in his mind. NDDC remain resolutely committed to its commitment under these agreements.
The meeting's objective is to appraise ways of resolving the funding challenge.
Some of the states, like my own state, the state has provided a counterpart fund, but you cannot use it if the other partner does not contribute.
National Program Coordinator of the project, Sani Abiodun, hopes that with the renewed commitment from the project partners, rural economic transformation and prosperity of participants are in sight.
I will enjoy each and every one of us to put on our thinking caps and see how we can pull through and get these three states on board as quick as possible.
This project adds to a series of programs targeted at the vulnerable persons in the society, aimed at bridging the poverty line in Nigeria. In Port Harcourt, Kingsley Amajuri, NTA News.
The time is now for Nigerians to embrace other systems of building that will be cheaper and affordable for the people, away from the usual concrete structures. This was the consensus reached at the third annual distinguished lecture of the Nigerian Society of Engineers in Abuja. Adebola Brooksland Sunday reports.
The provision of shelter, many agree, is the second most important need of man after food. In realization of this all-encompassing human need, cement plays a major role. However, analysts say the continuous rise in the cost of these critical ingredients in the building construction is widening the housing deficit gap in Nigeria.
The government can do something to make sure that the manufacturers of cement get the foreign exchange at a low price, so that the material can come down.
The convergence of these engineers is to deliberate on the cost of cement and sustainable housing, taking into cognizance other available options.
If we want to achieve sustainable economic development, we need to achieve sustainable housing.
The use of laterite as partial replacements of OPC and aggregates, the partial replacement of conventional cement with expanded polystyrene. In UK, the pond brick clay is an option. In America, the timber is an option.
This should be a national discourse. And I'd like to say that Koren would champion the discourse.
The lecture is in honor of the pioneer chairman of the Giri branch of the society, Aishatu Aliu Umar.
To provide solutions to the high rising cost of cement that will impede the building of sustainable housing for our growing population.
President of the society said Nigerian engineers are working out a modality for the available options.
We are encouraging and we are partnering with our research institutions to come up with alternatives to cement.
Adebola Brooksland Sunday, NTA News.
And from housing to safety on the road, motorists and commuters have again been reminded to adhere strictly to traffic rules while on the road to guide against road crashes, especially this rainy season. This was the message from key stakeholders in road safety management at an enlightenment campaign session in Uyo by the Federal Road Safety Officers in collaboration with the Akwa Ibom State Ministry of Justice. Emedion Umo reports.
Safety on the roads is a shared responsibility that involves the participation of every individual. Hence, the need to educate road users on the proper use of roads and adherence to traffic rules. As the rains intensifies, motorists and pedestrians are advised to ensure proper use of the roads by ensuring their vehicles are in good condition to eliminate road accidents.
Knowledge of road users, the rules and regulations guiding the road, what they must not do, what constitutes infractions, what can lead to any form of unfortunate occurrence on the roads.
Overspeeding is very, very bad. In this rainy season,
to ensure proper adherence to traffic rules, NYSC Road Safety Corps members illustrated the dangers and causes of traffic jam.
I asked them to stop, they refuse. They want to kill us. We don't need to fight on the way. We need just to settle a problem when it comes to traffic, to clear a traffic jam.
The Enlightenment Campaign and Workshop Program held by Federal Road Safety Corps has as its theme, Road Safety, a Shared Responsibility. In Uyo, Emediomo.
The Federal Capital Territory Administration has flagged off the construction work on the Access Road 2 and a cab park for the Abuja Light Rail Station in Abuja. Shuaibu Onoze Yakubu reports that the project was inaugurated by the Minister of Environment, Mohammed Mahmoud Abubakar.
Mini train station is one of the 12 light rail stations provided under the Abuja Rail Mass Transport System, which was designed to serve Kagini and neighboring districts. The project is jointly funded by the FCT administration and the Federal Ministry of Environment under the Green Bond Initiative of the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change.
The whole idea is to carry commuters from the Kubwa, Suleja, Zuba axis into the city.
And we're supposed to see good tight things in the ways of transportation, in the ways of electricity or light and agriculture through our sister agency, Ministry of Environment.
Minister of Environment Mohammed Abubakar disclosed that through the Green Bond program, his ministry will collaborate with the FCT administration to address issues of climate change and inadequate traffic signal management.
For the next Green Bond issuance, which is the third one that we are working on, I assure the Honorable Minister of FCT that will include additional project, and especially the one he requested right here, consider it done. We will do that too. And any other project like the solar he's talking about is all part of that. So some of the sectors are energy, agriculture, transportation, and all of that.
The project, estimated at 1.8 billion naira, is expected to be completed within 1 year. Shuaibu Onoze Yakubu, NTA News.
And for more on construction and rehabilitation, let's join Adeola in Lagos. Hello, Adeola.
Elizabeth. The federal government has reopened Eko Bridge in Lagos to traffic after completing repair works on some expansion joints on the Alaka Costain section of the bridge. Adeniyi Taiwo brings us an update.
After about 10 weeks of closure to ensure necessary repair, traffic from Lagos Island to mainland is flowing freely as Lagosians test the strength of the newly repaired bridge.
Many Lagosians appeared to have been caught unawares by the reopening of the bridge early Friday morning, as some of them had to be redirected by a flagman posted at the foot of the bridge. Fab Agukwe was under Eko Bridge at Costain, seeking shelter from the rain when I gave him the good news that the bridge has been reopened. His joy at the news stemmed from what he described as man-hour losses suffered while the closure lasted.
Time is something for me. So for me to waste something that I can move within 1 hour and then spend 3 hours on it, you know what it means. So definitely affected me badly. But if it's open today, I'm very, very happy to make us to be, the movement to be very, very easy. Yeah.
Then I came down, at Gerard Lokba and trekked down on top of the bridge to Costain after spending over 2 hours in the traffic. So opening it again, I think it's a very welcome idea, thank God.
Thanking the motoring public, Federal Controller of Works in Lagos State, Olukayode Popola, announcing the reopening, said further repairs would not require any closure. Eko Bridge was closed on June 4, 2021, with a 10-week timeline to effect repairs on expansion joints along the Alaka Costain section of the bridge. Meanwhile, attention has now turned to the Bond section of Airport Road flyover, with traffic diversion set to begin on Friday, August 13, 2021. In Lagos, Adeniyi Taiwo, NTA News.
Good news indeed. Moving on now, bringing to the consciousness of children and youth the importance of integrity and godliness for a better society is the message in the book Journey of Faith. The book, a compilation of testimonies in honor of a nonagenarian and professor of chemistry, Samuel Olorunfemi Odeyemi. Annie Daniels was at the lunch in Lagos and now reports.
Journey of Faith, a 155-page book, provides a unique opportunity to learn from the experience of Samuel Olorunfemi Odeyemi as a teacher philanthropist, evangelist, and one of the fathers of humanity. The book reviewer, former Director General of the Nigerian Institute of International Affairs, NIIA, Professor Bola Akinteriwa, described Professor Odeyemi as a book himself, whose love for humanity cannot be denied. Akinteriwa says the Don sacrificed his time, resources, and life. Little wonder he has many admirers and followers.
This type of book represents an idea that you cannot destroy. You may not agree with an idea, but the idea remains indestructible. So this is the beauty of it.
People can see how to behave in such a way to live long. Because when you do what is correct and God is allowing it to happen, He's giving His life as an example to us.
The celebrant, Professor Samuel Odeyemi, emphasized the need for proper parental upbringing and care for the young.
My philosophy is if we consider the world very hostile, it is because we do not have Christ. If you have Christ, you will be able to conquer and subdue the hostile nature of the world.
Professor Samuel Odeyemi was born in Ilesha, Osun State. He attended several schools and joined the services of the University of Lagos in 1986 as lecturer 2 and gradually rose to the position of a professor of industrial chemistry and deputy vice chancellor academics between 1995 to 2002. He is married with children and grandchildren. In Lagos, Annie Daniels, NTA News.
You're still watching Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. It's time for us to go on a short break. Elizabeth will continue when we return.
They're about the greatest assets the country has at the moment. It is therefore not surprising that the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari is strategically responding to the yearnings of the youth through multiple projects and programs. Youth Entrepreneurship Support Years by Bank of Industry, the Youth Investment Fund by the CBN, and several other conditional cash transfer programs. Recruitment of 774,000 social workers, majority of whom are youths, and so many other projects that are beneficial to youths directly or indirectly. If the administration can do all this, definitely with a degree of patience and time, it can achieve more. Nigerian youths must come together to say no to terrorism, no to vandalism, and no to all disruptive tendencies. Hashtag Youth for Greater Nigeria. Pacifying the youths, unifying the nation.
Admission forms into NTA Television College JOS 2021-2022 2-year National Innovation Diploma Program are on sale from 9th of August to 29th of October 2021. Candidates who wish to apply for admission must have 5 O-level credits in relevant subjects including English language and mathematics. The courses available for application include film and television production, broadcast journalism, and television engineering technology. The admission forms can be obtained at NTA Television College or any NTA station nationwide at the cost of 7,500 naira only. Payment for the form is through remitter platform only in favor of NTA Television College. For more inquiries, please call 0803-079-5335 or 0806-980-9807. Management Announcer.
We are StarTimes, the most affordable digital pay TV platform with the widest signal coverage in Nigeria, dedicated to bringing the best TV entertainment around the world to your screen. From Hollywood to Bollywood to Nollywood, we offer the most affordable subscription. Enjoy over 75 channels for as low as 1,700 naira, like Nat Geo Wild, BBC, ESPN, and premium sports like Emirates FA Cup, La Liga, Bundesliga, wrestling. What's more exciting? We have the most flexible payment options in Nigeria. Don't dull. Join us now for an exciting journey. StarTimes. Enjoy digital life.
The Blues will look to start the new season with a victory against former rival Patrick Vieira as he leads his London side, Crystal Palace, to Stamford Bridge. This Saturday, it's Chelsea versus Crystal Palace on the Premier League Live, showing on the network service of the NTA from 2:30 p.m. The Premier League Live is brought to you by Baba Ijebu and powered by Integral.
Thanks for staying with us. More than 1,667 digital economy centers have been established across the country and 16 policies developed to support the initiative. The Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Isa Ali Pantami, made this known at the batch 11 virtual inauguration of 7 digital economy projects, while stressing that the centers align with the federal government's key objectives of improving security, reducing corruption, and expanding the economy. Pantami said the goal is to bridge the digital divide and promote innovative solutions that will address challenges facing the country.
Number 1,667 is the minimum, but we have more than that. In this 7, you will discover that there is a minimum of at least a project in each geopolitical zone of this country. And most of the projects, you will discover that they are in each and every state of the Federation, including FCT. This commissioning is only part of accountability and transparency of the responsibility given to us.
This is really touching the lives of our citizens. And this is making the digital economy to become the fastest growing economy in the country.
ICT correspondent Joseph Johnson reports that the minister encouraged the host communities of the projects provided by the federal government through NITDA and NCC to maximally utilize the facilities and support the quest to build a better Nigeria. With the commencement of the enumeration exercise for the school feeding program in Abuja, officials of the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs have visited the state for monitoring. Steve Lona Nwokolo was with the team from Abuja that inspected schools in Umuahia North local government area. Meanwhile, the state government has announced that vacation date for schools in Abuja, which should have started today, Friday 13th, has been postponed to enable completion of the enumeration exercise.
Enumeration exercise of the National Homegrown School Feeding Program, which was flagged out on the 12th of July in Abia State, has commenced operations with inspection tours to schools to validate and assess the progress of the exercise in the 1,030 primary schools across the state. Team lead from the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Ngozi Chukwuka Ude, after visiting some of the schools, including Aheke and Oba Community Primary Schools, expressed satisfaction with the progress so far made.
The program is going on well. The state government is doing well. The federal government is doing the best.
This is the program that touches to the grassroots, where the children, the families have benefited a lot.
We are backing the federal government and the state government, the way they collaborate to make sure that this program is continuous.
The National Homegrown School Feeding Program is one of the 4 social investment programs of President Buhari-led government, designed since 2017 to improve the enrollment rates of school children. It also provides jobs for rural women who are engaged as cooks and farmers who supply the foodstuffs. In Umuahia, Steve Lonai Mwaokolo, NTA News.
The Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, says it's deploying the necessary tools and technology to keep its staff abreast of development in finance and bookkeeping for better service delivery. Executive Director, Finance of the NTA, Fatima Bada, said this at the Heads of Finance and Chief Accountants Conference in Abuja. Musa Abubakar reports.
Training and retraining is an annual practice by the NTA to improve service delivery. This year is no exception, as participants from Finance Directorate across the country gathered to share experience and explore alternative ways to improve accounting operations in a bid to support excellent television service worldwide.
All other directorates beginning from engineering, to finance, to admin and credit, to special needs. They are all support directors. The business of NTA, the business of broadcasting, the production of news and programs. Okay? On the institute side. So we cannot be using that to negotiate subscription, because it's subscription that actually qualifies you as a member.
Sensitize officers as control officers to be able to do the needful, constantly, so that the objective of having financial controllers in the authority will be felt.
And then they can go back and also inform their subordinate to train them so that the authority can to improve the authority finances.
With the theme safeguarding the assets of the authority, an essential tool for economic growth, the conference is expected to boost staff confidence and give them an edge to compete favorably. In Abuja, I am Musa Abubakar, NTA News.
And Fatima in our Makurdi Network Center has some trending reports for us. Over to you, Fatima.
Hello and welcome to Makurdi. Over 400 officers of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps who passed out of basic training on counter-terrorism have been challenged to use the knowledge gained during the training to protect lives and property. Godwin Inalogu reports that the Commandant General of the Corps, Ahmed Abubakar Audi, gave the advice at the passing out parade held in Makurdi, the Benue State capital.
The one-month basic training on weapon handling, internal security, counter-terrorism and insurgency will therefore go a long way in tackling insecurity and criminality in Benue State.
You must put to practice the knowledge you have acquired over this period to improve your service to the Corps and to humanity to ensure the safety and the protection of lives and properties in the state and wherever duty you are called for.
With these corps officers and men being hatched into the storehouse of our arsenal, we will become formidable in handling and tackling various security challenges in the state as we align with divine mechanizations.
Governor Samuel Otom, who was represented at the occasion by the Special Advisor on Security, retired Lieutenant Colonel Paul Hemba, congratulates the Corps for its operations as well as its synergy with other security agencies in tackling insecurity.
I can see the high morale, the professionalism you've displayed, and the physical fitness. I want you all to keep it up.
The graduates carried out special demonstrations on arms combat and strike force in clearance and rescue mission, as well as stripping and assembly of AK-47 rifles. In Makurdi, Godwin Inalogu, NTA News.
As some states begin to experience flooding, Benue State Agency for Flood Controls and Emergency say they are strategizing to mitigate possible effects of flooding in the state. This came to the fore at an interview with the Commissioner for Water Resources, Dondo Ahiri, on the continuous rise of the River Benue, which has been a prelude to flooding in the state. Ode Moses Ajau brings us the details.
At the onset of rain this year, the Nigerian Hydrological Service Agency and Nigerian Meteorological Agency's 2021 Annual Flood Outlook listed Benue State as among 28 other states in the country that would experience flooding. As the rain peaks in August, NTA crew visited the area office of the National Inland Waterways Authority and the River Benue Bank to ascertain the water level, which shows that the water volume has continued to rise significantly, with the current reading at 8.805 meters. But the authorities say there's no cause for alarm. They, however, advise residents living around flood-prone areas to relocate to safer areas.
First is we need to dredge the major part of River Benue and River Niger. Then we also need to communicate regulate the way the land is being used. There is overcultivation of land around these basins, and then the agri practices are not the best. So it's creating massive erosion.
Developers should be properly sensitized and conscientized, and then there should be sanctions. And then those respective ministries and agencies that are saddled with responsibility, like Ben Sessa, it is a bit to desist all these drainages.
They assured the residents of government's plan of mitigation against the flood and warned people to do their part by not building or blocking waterways. In Makurdi, Ode Moses Ajao, NTA News.
To improve youth participation in agricultural production and processing, attention should be given to factors leading to youth migration to urban areas. This was the submission of panelists in a roundtable dialogue organized by Youth Network on HIV/AIDS Population and Development, Benue State Chapter, to mark the 2021 International Youth Day in Makurdi.
Agriculture has over the years remained an important driver in developing countries, especially Africa. In Nigeria, over 80% of rural dwellers are engaged in agriculture at subsistence level, with the youth providing the energy. It is in recognition of this that the government has put together several programs and funding to encourage greater embrace of agriculture by the youth at the commercial level. The 2021 International Youth Day, with the theme Transforming Food Systems, Youth Innovation for Human and Planetary Health, therefore highlights the success that could be achieved with meaningful participation of young people in agriculture.
There is a call for reawakening, for us to understand that there is something we need to do in ensuring that the growing population of our world is fed.
We have gathered here today as young persons to give them an awareness of what they need to do to participate in ensuring that in the nearest future we have food security.
Stakeholders at a roundtable event organized in Makurdi further outlined the benefits derivable from youth participation in agriculture and the role government and other relevant authorities should play so as to attain lasting food security. Other areas highlighted are the opportunities available to youth, such as likely business and entrepreneurial ideas, as well as linkages to existing organizations that could be explored within the agricultural sector. In Makurdi, Blessing Omeche Ebute, NTA News.
And that's our contribution from Makurdi. Nationwide continues with Elizabeth in Abuja.
Thank you so much. Getting it right with the youth, key players say, is synonymous to charting a way forward for sustainable development. Determined to do just that, Adamawa Community Association in Abuja put together a platform for its young people to interface and generate ideas targeted at taking Nigeria to the next level. Lydia Sampson reports.
Aisha Sali, a civil servant, is passionate about changing the negative narrative about Nigeria wherever she finds herself. Chiason Lawori Kwamuti, though still a student, wants to be a doctor and help come up with solutions that can mitigate the emergence of deadly viruses like the COVID-19.
We're one united state, and I want the youth to engage very properly. Let's come out there. Let people know that we can.
Get to know ourselves, help ourselves, because if we don't help ourselves, nobody will help us. I'm working on being a doctor.
With these projections from youths from Adamawa State, key players here are optimistic that providing platforms for the youth to interface positively is the way to go.
Somebody has abilities in one particular area. Another person has a complementary ability that will link up with that other ability and make it productive. If we don't come together, we will not achieve that.
A cross-session of motivational speakers are quick to reiterate the fact that young Nigerians are the game changers that will propel the state and the country into greatness.
The youths who are our leaders of tomorrow, we will retire
and they're taking over. So if we carry them along now, that is the wisest thing that any organization can do.
I want to tell our youth that the future is very bright for them. Education is very important, and education does not mean that after the education they have to work. Education exposes them to self-employment.
The speakers and youths are optimistic that with every step taken in the right direction and by doing the right thing, the journey to a new and better Nigeria may not be too far ahead. In Abuja, Lydia Samson, NTA News.
It is estimated that youths make up 60% of the Nigerian population. Available data show that out of this figure, 13.9 million youths are unemployed. Experts say the situation is a recipe for insecurity and poverty. Channeling this youth population towards development of the nation is the reason for this gathering.
We are calling on Nigerian youth to involve themselves more in agriculture, and we're also asking government to give an enabling ground where Nigerian youth will see agriculture as a viable cause, as a viable business, the way people are going to oil and gas.
For us to achieve that dream, we have to de-emphasize our fault lines. What are the fault lines? Ethnicity, religion.
The gathering identified gaps in skills and entrepreneurship development in the country, but urged youths to seek self-development.
The era where youth should begin to hope and desiring and hope and be waiting for government to provide job is over. It is time for the youth to begin to create an initiative to create employment.
And we have too many people who graduate from school without employment. So we need to begin to build young people to understand the value of skills. Those who have talent, God-given talent, how can we develop them?
Key players in youth development further advised youths to remain patriotic and committed to issues that enhance security and corporate existence of Nigeria. In Abuja, Ekene Ndulwe, NTA News.
The need to provide an effective support system that will afford youth the opportunity to contribute to Nigeria's economic growth formed the thrust of the International Youth Day celebration in Imo State. Obiano Jumusu reports that some of the youth were honored.
William Eke is a graduate of business administration from the Imo State University. After years of unemployment, he chose to venture into farming, and today he produces cucumber in large quantity. Same applies to these youths who are into one form of production or the other. They are at this year's International Youth Day celebration in Owerri to motivate other youths of Imo State origin on how to be self-reliant.
The business I am into today, I started it with 10,000 naira, so I'm encouraging them to start no matter how little.
My journey in beekeeping started when we were taught about beekeeping in Empower. But before then, my mom was into honey business, and I developed passion for it.
Our administration is started on taking our youth outside or out of the streets. It's empowering our youth. It's giving them skills for them to be important in our society.
Some outstanding youths in creativity and human capital development were presented with awards to mark the day. In Owerri, Obiano Jumusu, NTA News.
And for more reports on Nationwide, let's join Kemi in Ibadan. Nice to see you, Kemi.
See you to Elizabeth and welcome to Ibadan. Pensioners under the platform of the Contributory Pensioners Union of Nigeria have appealed to the federal government to call on the National Pension Commission, PENCOM, for the payment of accrued interest. Kayode Oladosu reports that this was made known by the union in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital.
Rest, they say, is sweet after labor. But this might not be the case of retired civil servants under the aegis of Contributory Pension Scheme. They claim that all the accrued interest and other benefits as stipulated in Pension Reform Act 2004 are yet to be fulfilled.
Our counterparts in defined benefit scheme have
been given all the areas of their pension, including 33%, 15%, even the newest one, the newest salary increase, they've been given. But we, since inception, we have not been paid anything. I know the listing. They have issued circular several times, but the circular to no avail. They are just issuing circular. Yes, it has been approved. The Senate is going to debate over it. The salaries and wages, nothing was done.
Based on this fact, the pensioners solicit the attention of the federal government through National Pension Commission to come to their rescue.
They see any alert today, and we collect the money in the bank. Immediately the money will finish. So we don't know what to do, rather than to appeal to the government.
As it is honorable to work and noble to retire, the pensioners say it is worthy of note for the concerned authority to fulfill their part for them to enjoy rest after labor. In Ibadan, Kayode Oladoshu, NTA News.
And that's it from Ibadan. We now take some messages and join Salamatu in Kaduna after the break.
A new edition of TV Guide is out exclusively with Governor Simon Lalong of Plateau State.
Since assuming office, our rescue administration has pursued the path of peace and reconciliation and restored confidence among people of different ethnic, religious, and political persuasions. Peace is back on the plateau. We are building world-class infrastructure in roads and opening up opportunities for innovation.
The edition is a compendium of mind-blowing stories for your reading pleasure, ranging from entertainment, economy, sports, media, politics, family, and lots more. Pick up a copy and keep abreast with issues and trending features within our space. TV Guide, very incisive, very educative and compelling. Grab a copy at the vendor near you or any NTA station nationwide. TV Guide, your indispensable companion.
In the last 1.5 years or so since the advent of the COVID-19 pandemic, we've seen massive changes in the way we do things at MPHCDA. Working with the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19, we were able to actually roll out in the first couple of weeks a massive community-based program that looked at how we could quickly mitigate the impacts of COVID-19 in the communities. So we rolled out a training that involved over 220,000 primary healthcare workers all across Nigeria. We're seeing how we've been able to now achieve pre-COVID levels in terms of the routine immunization services. That is really, really impressive, and really my heart goes out to all of the primary healthcare workers. They've done such an amazing job, along, of course, with all of the health workers that have been in the front line.
Dear compatriots, our country can be as great as we want.
Let us all commit ourselves to its greatness.
We must be willing to set aside our differences, unite and stay as one.
In our expansive landmass, human and material resources, and plurality lies our strength.
Let our challenges lead us to rediscover our common ground, and together, let's find solutions.
This will take some time, so it requires patience, tolerance, and forgiveness from every one of us.
Let all hands come on deck to protect and transform our country.
Let us unite and see each other not as adversaries, but as brothers and sisters.
Together, we can build a better Nigeria for ourselves and for the next generations.
This message is brought to you by the National Orientation Agency, NOA, with support from Nigerian Television Authority, NTA.
The Blues will look to start the new season with a victory against former rival Patrick Vieira as he leads his London side, Crystal Palace, to Stamford Bridge. This Saturday, it's Chelsea versus Crystal Palace on the Premier League Live, showing on the network service of the NTA from 2:30 p.m. The Premier League Live is brought to you by Baba Ijebu and powered by Integral.
watching Nationwide, and thanks for joining us here in Kaduna. Nigerian Army is alive to its responsibility of combating threats to national security through sustained offensive against criminal elements terrorizing parts of the country. Chief of the Army Staff, Lieutenant General Farouk Yahaya, restated this at the battle inoculation of exercise Camp Highland for Army cadets of regular course of the Nigerian Defense Academy. Suleiman Abdullahi Rigachukun reports.
68 regular cadets Army of the Nigerian Defense Academy in a practical display of talent on ground and air operations. A final military training codenamed Battle Inoculation of Exercise Camp Highland. This is coming after the cadets' 5-year field and academic training in the Nigerian Defense Academy.
82 cadets out of the 128 cadets of 68 regular course successfully completed the airborne course and are winged.
Chief of the Army Staff, Lieutenant General Farouk Yahaya, acknowledges the quality of training accorded to the cadets, promising that the Nigerian Army will support the academy with 6 gun trucks and highly dedicated personnel.
Today, our dear country is faced with numerous security challenges ranging from banditry, kidnapping, militancy, and violent agitation, among others. The Nigerian Army is alive to its constitutional responsibilities in combating the mentioned threats to internal peace and security. Of course, in collaboration with other sister services and other security agencies.
The cadets are scheduled to be commissioned into the Nigerian Armed Forces on the 9th of October this year. Suleiman Abdullahi Rigachku, NTA News.
And Kano State government has pledged to strategize towards the actualization of goal number 3 of the Sustainable Development Goals, which seeks to attain good health. Wife of the governor of Kano State, Professor Hafsat Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, made the pledge at the flag-off of the 2021 Maternal, Newborn and Child's Week in Gaya local government area of the state. Yohannes Hassan Barrow has the details.
Over the years, infant mortality rates is estimated to be 1 in every 8 births in sub-Saharan Africa by the World Health Organization. Considering the number of lives lost as a result of inadequate health care coverage and lack of requisite knowledge on child care, especially in the hinterlands, the Sustainable Development Goals accorded priority to the health sector. More still needs to be done. Professor Hafsat Abdullahi Ganduje said apart from wide coverage of health care in 1,200 centers, the state has expended millions of naira for the procurement of malaria drugs, insecticide-treated mosquito nets, and other consumables.
To call on all the parents, especially women, to utilize this opportunity brought to their doors by making sure that all their children aged from 3 months to 59 months, including pregnant women, benefit from these services.
The Maternal, Newborn and Child Health Week was integrated with the second cycle of the seasonal malaria chemo prevention and the World Breastfeeding Week to enlighten the likes of Hafsat Mohammed on the importance of antenatal, exclusive breastfeeding and proper hygiene. Professor Hafsat was at the Gaya Emirate Council to pay homage to the monarch and solicit his support in ensuring proper enlightenment to his people on the importance of immunization and personal hygiene. In Kano, Yohannes Hassan Barrow, NTA News.
That is it from here. We now rejoin Elizabeth in our Abuja studio for more on Nationwide.
Thank you, Salamatu. The First Lady of Nigeria, Aisha Muhammad Buhari, is rejoicing with Mohammed Indimi and his family on the occasion of his 74th birthday. The First Lady described Mohammed Indimi as a compassionate and exceptionally well-paid gentleman who is always willing to serve humanity. She further said that the humanitarian activities of Indimi and his ambitious desire to make the world a better place makes him one of the distinguished philanthropists of the present time. Mrs. Buhari wishes the celebrant good health and God's guidance in his future endeavors and role as the bridge builder he has always been. Now to disaster management. The National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, can now effectively receive distress calls from disaster victims across the country and respond immediately through the upgraded call center of the agency. The Saudi Arabia King Salman Humanitarian Aid and Relief Center championed the upgraded facilities with a view to aiding immediate response to disasters by the agency. Ilyasu Ali Yakubu reports.
Items donated include upgraded computers, headsets, desk phones, printers, as well as training for call agent and supervisors, and payment for 2 years annual maintenance for the upgraded call center. Leader of the Saudi delegate Nasir Mutlaq Al-Subayb said King Salman bin Abdulaziz of Saudi Arabia is concerned about the plight of Nigerians affected by the incessant disasters across the country, hence this initiative for quick response. He said the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia will continue to render support to Nigerians who may be affected by disasters, conflicts and insurgency.
It is our resolve that the support by the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia will enhance, promote and effect response to emergencies and further strengthen bilateral cooperation between our two countries.
Director General, National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, Mustafa Habib Ahmed said the intervention by King Salman Humanitarian Aid Center will no doubt take NEMA and its mandate of disaster risk management and immediate response to a greater height.
NEMA is now in a better position to render efficient and effective disaster preparedness. Mitigation and response in Nigeria thanks to the support of the King Salman Humanitarian Aid and Relief Center.
In addition to this upgrade of facilities, the King Salman Humanitarian Aid has supported NEMA with capacity building projects and humanitarian aid to internally displaced persons impacted by crisis in Zamfara, Borno and Yobe State. In Abuja, Ilyasu Ali Yakubu, NTA News.
Talking sports now, early preparations, quality training and a technical appraisal of performances and pitfalls will give sports a roadmap towards harvesting more Olympic medals in future. Thomas Ogbete reports that these were some of the submissions of guests on NTA's Good Morning Nigeria.
The overall performance of athletes in the just concluded 2020 Olympic was rated low by the guests, who attributed it to insufficient preparation of the Nigerian contingent. They recommended that promising athletes should be sent abroad for their education in schools that have sport facilities for quality training.
Those 10 athletes that, were disqualified for, not adhering to pre-competition testing, that responsibility falls squarely on the authorities running Nigerian athletics. And it is probably because they have been at war with themselves that they did not bother to take care of the fact that there are procedures to follow.
It's something that we least expected. A lot of things came up and eventually it was also properly managed.
And for some of the event we do not qualify, especially for boxing, I think we need to really do a thorough reassessment, because Nigeria got her first medal in the Olympics through boxing. And boxing over the years have been our strongest point.
Nigeria's 2 medalists at the Tokyo Olympics called on public-spirited individuals and the private sector to invest in the training of athletes as part of their corporate social responsibility.
We're hoping that we'll be able to get sponsors as well to help us. To get them early enough.
Yeah, like I said, I have some plans going back to my secondary school to catch some girls, catch them young.
There was also advocacy for government to adequately remunerate Nigerian athletes to serve as incentive for greater performance. In Abuja, Thomas Ogbetere, NTA News.
And for more sporting stories, let's join our sports desk.
Professional rugby player Maro Ithoye says he is set to tell the untold story of the African child in the true perspective, using the game of rugby as a springboard. The four-time English Premiership title winner told the chairperson of Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, Abike Dabiri Erewa, that he is delighted to associate with Nigerians through the commission.
When you have the younger generation say we must tell our stories ourselves, we need to encourage them.
Trying to encourage sports collectively, but also encourage rugby at the lower end school level.
To continental matters now, Africa's football governing body, CAF, has listed Nigeria's quartet of Akwa United, Rivers United, Enyimba and Bayelsa United among 105 clubs confirmed to participate in the 2021-2022 CAF club competitions. Nigeria Professional Football League winners, Akwa United and Rivers United, will participate in the Champions League, while Enyimba and Bayelsa United will be involved in the Confederation Cup. The clubs have until August 15 to register their players on CAF content management system. And finally, the much-awaited 2021-2022 English Premier League season comes